Hello and good evening. Welcome to Unlocking Finance with your financial friend. My name is Ntombi, and as always, I'm here to help you unlock your financial potential through simple, practical, and biblical money principles. And tonight, we are starting a powerful 4-part series called The Wealth Building Framework. Pretty much, how do we build wealth? The journey to wealth building is quite simple. However, I'm not saying it's easy, but I'm saying it's simple. It's broken down into simple steps that don't require any extra additions or any tricks or gimmicks. You just need to follow through and be consistent with this framework, and you'll be right well on your way to financial freedom. So now we'll be unpacking the following 4 things. Number 1, how to build yourself. Number 2, building your income. 3, building your assets. And 4, repeating. So tonight we are starting with the foundation, and this is the one that most people overlook, and I think it's a very important investment to start with: building yourself. Before the money, before the business, before the investments, there is you. And this is what you need to understand, is that your income will rarely outgrow your level of personal development. You can be given an opportunity, but if you're not prepared, you will not be able to sustain it. You can receive money, but if you're not developed, you'll mismanage it. And that's why building yourself up is not an option. It is essential to wealth building. Now, there's a powerful moment, or I like to liken this to a powerful moment that we read about in the Bible, where God has an interaction with Moses and calls him to deliver, or calls him on this assignment or task of delivering the Israelites out of Egypt. And one of the questions that really stood out for me in that passage of scripture, which really lines up with the topic that we're speaking about, is a verse where God says, or asks Moses rather. He says, "Moses, what is in your hand?" Now, if you read about it, you see that Moses had a staff. He had a staff in his hand. All these visions and plans that the Lord had communicated to Moses, Moses was trying to figure out, I hear what you're saying, Lord, but what exactly is it that you want me to do, and how are we going to execute this thing? And so the Lord made Moses aware. He asked him, he started by asking him a question: what is it in your hand? God didn't give him an instruction and says, look at your hand. He rather asked him and said, what is it that is in your hand? What does that mean? That when we are embarking on a journey, it is important for us to look on where we are at first. What is it that we currently have? And Moses had a staff. We see that Moses had a staff. It didn't look like much. It didn't really look like a solution to the issue. But that very same staff is the same staff that the Lord used for miracles, for leadership, and for deliverance. So now this poses us, or I pose a couple of questions to us, or it links us to our current reality, to say, what is it that you have in your hand right now? What skills do you possess? What do you know? Don't be so caught up with the things that you do not know that you actually forget what you know. There is something that is of value that you currently possess that will get you well on your way to financial freedom. And your job is to figure that out. Figure out what exactly it is that you have that will add value. What are the skills that you have? What knowledge have you gained? What is it that you know? What relationships can you leverage on? What relationships do you have around you? What experiences have shaped you? Believe it or not, whether you think you're young or you're old, every single person has a different experience. You have a different experience. And so that is your starting point. That is something that you can use to leverage. That is something that you can use to start this journey of wealth building. And the issue is that at times we find ourselves in a position where we delay our progress because we're always waiting for something. We're waiting for more. We're looking at how we feel like we don't have enough, and so we need to acquire more. But God has already given us everything that we need to be able to get started. So the question that I pose to you today is, what is it that you have in your hand? That wealth building tool is in your hand. You just need to figure out what it is and understand that your wealth building tool is unique to you. Someone else has something else. You do not have to do what everyone else is doing, but if possible, sure, if it works for you, go for it. But you do not have to copy what someone else is doing. Your financial journey with your neighbor's financial journey is different. So Don't sit and wait for connections. Don't sit and wait for more money. But start with what you already have, what God has already given you. You could be gifted, with arts, or you could be gifted with accounting, or there's knowledge that you've acquired from school that you can tutor other people. There's so many things. Maybe you're good with your hands. You're able to bake. You're able to sew clothing. Whatever the case may be, identify what exactly it is that you have in your hand that will get you on your way to starting. Now, understand that building yourself is not a once-off event. It's continuous. It's a lifestyle. It's an investment that you put into yourself continuously. And understand that there's no one else who's going to do that apart from yourself. So that's something that you need to prioritize on a regular basis. It is of great importance for you to ensure that you develop yourself on a regular basis. It is your responsibility. Now, we're going to look at the 3 areas in which building yourself can happen, where I call it continuous personal development. The first area is knowledge. What is it that you are building your mind with? What are you feeding your mind? Are you reading books? What books are you reading? Are you listening to podcasts that are edifying, that are educational, that are beneficial to your journey? Are you investing in mentorship? Are you reading the Word of God for your life, for your finances? Because understand, what you consume will shape how you think. One of the things that I mentioned on my social media at some point was that if you want to see change in your financial journey, you need to change your algorithm. You need to look at your phone, look at the things that you are watching on social media, the things that you're entertaining, and that will tell you whether you are in the right path or not. You need to change your algorithm. You need to change what it is that you're feeding yourself, because it's important. Those things are a reflection. Those are the things that contribute towards your journey. At times, you may find yourself even entertaining jokes about, lack, or jokes about poverty, and you think it's funny, but what you don't know is that you're entertaining it and you're making it a part of your reality. But you need to get rid of that if you are embarking on a different journey. If you want to embark on a wealth building journey, you need to start entertaining things that contribute towards your wealth building. It's as simple as that. So change your algorithm, change the conversations that you are engaging with, change the people that you surround yourself with, change what it is that you are listening to, that you are allowing to be fed into your mind. That's where you need to start, with the knowledge. What is it that you know? And what things do you need to unlearn? What things do you have to, I'll say in inverted commas, unknow? Certain knowledge you don't need to have anymore. Maybe you know too much of other people's business instead of knowing how to invest in a tax-free savings account, for instance. So maybe there are certain things when it comes to knowledge that you're going to have to path out for yourself. What is it that you're going to learn, and what is it that you're going to unlearn? What is it that is not beneficial to your journey in terms of knowledge, and what is it that is beneficial to you? What is it that you know that you shouldn't be knowing, and what is it that you need to know that you don't know? And those are the questions you need to ask yourself pertaining to this aspect of knowledge. The second area is skills. What is it that you can do? Self-introspection is so important with regards to this. So that way you are able to be aware and know what it is that you can do and how you can contribute. So what is it? Are you a good communicator? I know a couple of very good storytellers. I know there's a man on TikTok who literally built his brand around storytelling. Are you a good storyteller? Are you a good communicator? Are you good with sales? Are you good with persuasion? Do you have persuasion skills? Are you able to solve problems? Are you a good listener? Are you great with leadership? Do you take initiative? Do you look at a situation and come up with something or know what to do? Those are skills that you can train, that you can hone to be better so that you can be of value to whoever you need to be valuable to in order to create that market for yourself. Because skills is basically what you know and turning that into an income. Being able to make it actionable so that it can bring you an income. So the skills aspect is extremely important. In our country, if you look, what also contributes towards the unemployment rate in our country is the lack of skills. There's a gap in skills. In the skills market, there's a gap. You find that you go to university or you didn't complete your high school qualification, but there is no skill. There's a skills gap where there's a demand from the employers. The employers are demanding a certain level of skill, and the people in the market, in the job market, looking for jobs are lacking in that skill, and there is no intermediary that wants to bridge that gap. And so if you want to be the person that wants to add value to the market or wherever you go, it is important, it is imperative for you to develop your skills. You need to do it yourself. You don't need to wait to be employed. You don't have to wait for someone else to do it. If there's something that you're working towards, take initiative and add and contribute towards developing your own skill set. And the third area, this one is overlooked a lot because we just look at the skills, we look at the knowledge, and you might probably think the third aspect is connection. But the third area is actually character. Who are you becoming? So a lot of people have skill, a lot of people have knowledge, but the character is lacking. Questionable characters, the lack of integrity, the lack of honesty. Who are you becoming in the midst of all of this? Are you disciplined? Are you able to say no to certain things? Are you consistent? Are you able to show up even when it's inconvenient? Do you have integrity? Are you able to do the right thing even when no one is watching? Understand that opportunities don't just require skill, they require character to sustain them. You can only know so much. You can only know how to do so much. But if your character is not in check, it's going to catch up with you and it's going to work to your disadvantage. So it's important in your wealth building journey that you work on your character. You discipline yourself from things as small as soon as your salary comes into your account, don't be quick to take the money and spend it on leisure if you haven't planned it. Prioritize the things that are important and discipline yourself. Deny yourself that instant gratification for delayed gratification, because you know that as you wait, there is a bigger benefit on the other side, rather than having to entertain that instant gratification or that craving that you are feeling at that particular moment. So who you're becoming is just as important as the other areas in your wealth building journey, because that will determine whether you are able to accumulate wealth or not. So looking at these three aspects, these are the areas that you need to prioritize or work on continuously to ensure that you build wealth the right way. Don't build wealth being controlled by greed. Do the right thing all the time, and God will reward you for your faithfulness and your transparency and your honesty. The Lord will reward you for that. But if you try and do things the wrong way, those things will catch up with you. So now, if you are feeling stuck, overwhelmed, or unsure where to start, I want you to ask yourself the following 6 questions. The first one is, what is it that you want to build? What I want to build and what you want to build is not the same thing. It's great for us to, look at millionaires as inspiration for where we want to be, but to be honest, what we all want to build is different. And it's important for you to understand what it is that you want to build. Don't build something because it's trendy. Don't build it because someone else is doing it. What is it that you want to build? What is it that you want to leave? What legacy do you want to leave? Secondly, why does it matter? Why is it so important for you to build this thing? Why is it so important to you for you to pursue this? Who do you need to become and who can help you? So these are questions that you need to ask yourself. These are very important questions. Questions that you need to sit down, self-introspect and ask yourself. You can't have someone else in the room. It needs to be you alone. You having a meeting with yourself and asking yourself, who do you need to become for you to achieve this and who can help you? Where are the opportunities? So where is there a demand for what you have to offer? Where do you need to go? Who do you need to speak to? Where can your people be found? When will you start? When are you planning to start? Are you planning to start today? Are you planning tomorrow? What do you need to be able to start? And the last question is, how will you execute it? How will you execute this? And that's when you have a detailed breakdown of the things that you want to do to achieve those goals. Now, once you have clarity, you need a structure. So these questions are great because they move you from being confused, not being uncertain, to giving a little bit more clarity. It gives you vision and adds a mission to it so that you know and you have direction as to where you're going. So now once you have clarity, you need structure. And this is where we probably have been taught this, in different workshops, classes in school and the like. This is where the SMART goals come in. SMART stands for, it's an acronym for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So if we make it practical, instead of saying, I want to improve my finances, That's a vague statement to make. You instead should say maybe, I will develop one income generating skill in the next 3 months and use it to earn my first 3,000 Rand. That makes it clear, that makes it actionable, and that makes it measurable. So when you write your statement down and you write your goals down, put figures, put dates to it so that you know what needs to be done. So a lot of us actually want income without growth. We want assets without discipline. We want results without development. And that's why the money comes and goes without you knowing where it went. Opportunities come and they are wasted. But the foundation was never built. So if you skip this stage of building yourself first, you will struggle to sustain everything else. And understand that building yourself is not a once-off event, like I said. It's a continuous thing. So even after you acquire your desired goal, you still continue building yourself up. So as we quickly recap, build yourself first. Use what's already in your hand. Grow in knowledge, in skills, and character. Get clarity through asking yourself the right questions. And execute with structure. Your wealth is not built from the outside in. It's built from the inside out. So this key that I want you to take for tonight is start where you are, use what you have, and commit to becoming the person who can handle the wealth that you are praying for. Thank you so much for joining me tonight on Unlocking Finance with Your Financial Friend. Today I made it as practical as possible. Make sure that you go and write it down and practice it, put it into practice. And if you want to get a recap of this episode, make sure that you check on the podcast on Spotify. You'll be able to find the episodes there at Your Financial Friend. You can follow me on social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. You can follow me there and you'll be able to get all these practical steps or recaps or repeats of these episodes. And I hope this helps you. And I'm looking forward to journeying on this amazing wealth building journey with you. And I'll be so happy to hear about your stories and how this has helped you. But otherwise, please do have yourself a good night.